review. Tonight, I'm on day 7 of the Adventure Beer Advent Calendar. For those who don't know about Adventure Beer is a local company to me in Nottingham that collects beers from all around the East Midlands, mainly Nottinghamshire, but certainly all around the East Midlands. Fantastic range of breweries as well. We are lucky to live in an area with so many, bit of wind, so many cracking breweries. So let's see what's on the radar for day 7. Well, it's a can. Well, and the beer mats has decided to do a runner. Ooh. Right, so it's a new one for me. Good evening, Shane and Phil. From Brewsters Brewery, it's their Hophead. I need to remember this when when I go along trying to catch up with the stuff that I've missed. And Brewsters Brewery, I think they're based in Grantham. I've got to check because the brain, you get old. I can't tell where they're based. Where they're based? Oh yeah, they are based in Grantham. I got it right. Yeah, their can art is pretty decent, to be fair. I'm sure I've got another one. Yeah, so I've got another one of theirs on the wall. That's their other can art, and again, colourful can art. So I put that one back. That's for another time. Yeah. So it says on the beer itself, it says a very flavoursome pale gold beer with a fresh, zesty hop character, unfiltered for fuller flavour, may contain a natural sediment. Highlights of orange, lemon, and blackcurrant hop notes from a blend of aromatic English American hops, a low alcohol strength, with a depth of flavour that punches above its weight. The name Hophead comes from the informal term for someone who likes hoppy beers. Winner of International Brewing Awards Gold Medal and shortlisted for the Camera Champion Beer of Britain 3 times. And then it says here, Brewster is the Old English word for a female brewer. Sarah Barton is a modern-day brewster with a master's degree in brewing from the International School of Brewing and Distilling. Sarah set up Brewsters Brewery in 1998. And I've got to say, it amazes me how many ladies now are doing the brewing. I mean, it's great. I think it's great that it's not just blokes doing the brewing, but it's women as well. And I look on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well, I suppose. And the amount of females being beer brewers these days, beer sommeliers, it's great. It's great that it's not just blokes, really. So catch up with anything I missed. There we go. Right, let's crack this one open. Yep, another new one for me. I do love a new beer. That's what makes Advent calendars good. I'm not so bothered when I've drank something about 1,000 times and you review it and you think, don't really want to review it again. So, based in Grantham, about 40 minutes away from me. Clear, golden pour, Whitehead. A little bit of carbonation, but not much at all, really, to be fair. Certainly malty, a little bit of citrus. Session pale ale. What's the ABV? 3 point. God, is that 3.6 or 3.8? Oh dear, I can't see my eyes. Let me get the glass. Let me get the magnifying glass out. Can't bloody see. You've got COVID. Oh, bless you, mate. 3.6%. Oh, I'm on the alcohol-free stuff. Well, not quite, but not far off. So yeah, alcohol-free beer, or 3.6% for those who don't like big beers. Oh, well, let's hope you're well, mate. The last thing you want to be is ill with it. Um, as weird as COVID is, it's funny how it's not funny, but it's weird how it does things to certain people it doesn't to others. I mean, in my house, my older son had it. He was a little bit rough, not bad, but a little bit rough. But I tell you what, he's not been vaccinated, and it sent shivers for us. You're like panicking. You're thinking you're starting to cough, and you think, God, let's hope this don't progress any further. And it does. It puts the wind up you, especially if you read what's on the TV. I mean, let's be fair. There has been people who are young, fit, and who have not been good with it. Can't find any new beers in supermarkets. There has been new beers. I think Morrison's is probably the best of the bunch, really. Waitrose have got some nice new beers, and I think supermarkets on the whole they've had new beers in the last month or two. But Christmas beers, Morrison's is king, yeah, by some distance as well. Asda, oh dear, lacking massively. So, certainly a bit of malt on this. I get subtle elements of citrus. Certainly bitey on the taste. Hophead. It's always a thing when you call a beer Hophead. I remember when Sadler's called their beer Hop Bomb, and I drank it, and it was like, where was the bomb? Hey, had it been diffused before I even cracked it open? Morrison's, Tesco's seem to be the kings of craft. Um, Sainsbury's, yeah, they've got a little bit in. All of them seem to be a bit Brewdog. Brewdog seem to have put their certainly um, they've convinced the supermarkets that they are the kings of craft beer. Yeah, yeah, they've got some nice beers nonetheless, but yeah, kings of craft beer, no, not really. But they are obviously the biggest of the craft beer breweries. So I suppose, and probably one of the original ones of the present type of craft beer breweries. It's funny with craft beer breweries, some of them that call themselves craft beer breweries, and you think, but you're traditional. How can you call yourself a craft beer brewery? And I suppose it's, yeah, they were the last batch of craft beer breweries. I suppose in 10 years' time, there'll be a load of new breweries. The finest Imperial IPA. Tell you what, some of the Tesco's range back in the day, only a couple of years ago, the Tesco Simply Ginger Beer was one of the best ginger beers that I've ever tasted. It was absolutely stunning. And then they killed the range off. Or was it Simply? Was it Basics? I don't know. It was some cheapo brand anyway. Basics is Sainsbury's, isn't it? Sainsbury's Basics. I'm not sure. So, a nice tasting session pale. Yeah, it is. It's citrusy. It is hoppy. It's got some good poke to it for a 3.6%. And I suppose after that 7.4, and I'll tell you what, I'm feeling the 7.4 now. Now that I'm drinking this, and it just goes to show that I need something to eat. I had 2 Scotch eggs last night, and then I'm at work today, and I'm starving. And now I know why I was starving, because I had nothing to eat last night. And that's why that 10% beer last night absolutely walloped me. I drank it and I was drunk doing the beer review. It was like, Jesus Christ. I need to make sure I do 2 beer reviews tonight to catch on. I'm trying to get through Christmas beers. I've got that many Christmas beers, both English, Belgian, I think German as well. Or are they French? I think they might be French actually, not German. nonetheless. So, Brewsters Brewery, based in Grantham, I think that's classed as Lincolnshire, on the way to Skegger. Some steak. I was going to do myself some steak tonight, to be fair, but the wife's told me that we're having chips tonight, takeaway. So fair play. It means I can go up the house, go on the settee. Well, after I've put all my clothes today in the washing machine, because all of it is wet through. Put all my clothes in the washing machine and chill out on the settee with a fleece round me, eating on full blast, and watch something on TV. And do another beer review about 9 o'clock, I think. That's the plan anyway. Hopefully. That's tasting really nice, that is. Even though it's only a 3.6%, it's got some nice taste to it, nice bite, hoppy, citrusy elements. Yeah, quite liking that. Sometimes, you can see a beer. I do find this with beers that sometimes you build yourself up. You'll get a beer, you think, oh, this ticks the boxes. You'll crack it open, it's like, didn't really rate that. And then you'll get a beer that you look at, you think, oh, well, this doesn't bother me at all. And you'll crack it open, you'll drink it, and it'll be like, yeah, that's really nice. And it's surprising how many times that happens. Sometimes our own aspirations of the beer we're going to drink can be the downfall. The beer might not be that bad, but it's the fact that you're thinking it's going to be better that's the problem. Which I suppose in some ways is why beer reviewing is it's all down to what we all like as people who like beer, not just one person's opinion, should we say. Oh, let me just make sure there's no comments, because I do apologise after this. Stupid bloody phone. That's it. Thank you. Sometimes I have to check, because if no one's commenting, that's fair play. But if people are commenting and I'm sitting there yakking away, and it's like, oh, no one said it. And then I turn the video off and it's like, oh, there's like 20 comments that I just totally and utterly didn't see, because YouTube was being its usual self. So, yeah, certainly a nice pour. Good to see different breweries. And what I do like about Adventure Beer is it'll be 24 different breweries. So loads of local breweries are getting a bit of a nudge. And, you can't fault that. For a local brewery to get a nudge from everybody drinking it, liking it, hopefully. And, to be fair, let's be fair, there's not many bad beers out there, both in pubs and in shops. There are some beers that are truly not as the beer they were years ago. If you only need to look at something like Newcastle Brown Ale, that is not the beer it was 10 years ago. Wow. The decline of that beer, the brand name has just dissipated. In another 10 years, will it still exist? Makes you wonder. In this day and age, oh, still got a load left. Job's a good one. And it's funny, I did not feel the 7.4%, not in the slightest. I've started to drink a 3.6%, and I feel sozzled. So it's weird, isn't it? You drink an Imperial IPA, doesn't touch the sides. All of a sudden, you want a 3.6%, which has been the highlight so far. Oh, now you're asking. Oh, I've got to say, I think that has been my favourite beer. Today's Thornbridge has been the highlight so far. Next year, If Thornbridge next year, when I do advent calendars, I may do two totally different advent calendars. Magpie makes some good beers, mate. Yeah. They do. They're more modern, traditional. That's what I class Magpie beers. Not craft. They're not traditional beers. Modern, traditional. And they are certainly getting close to craft with some of their new beers. I suppose, like most breweries, um, their pubs, they're trying to cater for the masses. It's very difficult. With all beers, it's very difficult. Um, some breweries, they can sell loads because of their name and the name they've built. Although some breweries do damage to their names by putting their beers in Tesco's under Brewdog. Um, yeah, it's always there's always in business. There's always a fine balancing act, and you can win in the short term, but damage your brand massively for the longer term. And I do think beers these days, it does change quite quick. Certainly amongst craft beer drinkers, traditional beer drinkers, it all depends what the supermarkets. The supermarkets are more powerful than you would ever imagine. Um, that's why the likes of Caffrey's and the old Tetley's Extra Smooth or whatever it was called, you don't really see them in supermarkets anymore. Stones, you don't really see that in supermarkets anymore. A lot of them older brands have disappeared, and supermarkets do control a lot of what happens in the booze sector. And a lot of people don't look online at what happens in, breweries, shops, and that. The biggest amount of people buy their beer from supermarkets. It is what it is in that respect. We just need to get supermarkets a bit more up to date with what's out there. So, bloody hell, this is hitting home. This is. I feel sozzled now. Might be the fact that I've had not a lot to eat in the last 2 days, and I need to sit down on the settee, get warm, and get some dinner. So, lovely, crystal clear. Looks like a golden pour, white head, hophead. Um, I get a citrus aroma from this. There is hoppiness, but um, ah, it's very difficult. Whenever you call a beer something called hophead, hop bomb, I find that it's something you've got to be very careful at. It is, however, a very decent beer, nonetheless. Despite the name of it, it is a decent beer. And it's certainly, it's only 3.6%, but I've been walloped more on this. Good evening, Mr. Greg. How are you, mate? How's the German beers going? It's German beers, isn't it? And this is hitting me harder than the 7.4%. Although I've drank this after drinking the 7.4%, which means that the 7.4% actually did its job, and I'm just getting the after effects. Oh, good. It's not easy doing advent calendars, is it? You've got to keep going and hoping that the beers are all right. To be fair, it does. You're right. I find when Sadler's did Hot Bomb, it's like whoa. Stuck on a desert island with 4 types of beers. Imperial Stout. Hey, who wouldn't? Ooh, God, that's difficult. difficult question, that is. It's a difficult question for everyone. Certainly an Imperial Stout. Imperial IPA. Um, 7.3%. That's a decent. Yeah, that's not too bad, is it? Oh dear. Porters and then a normal stout. Anything over 7.5. Yeah, yeah, you're right. So 20 minutes in. Wow, can I yak? So looks like a golden pour. Whitehead. Yeah, I'm just a pisshead. Do apologise for swearing. I wasn't swearing. Piss isn't swearing. So we'll do it. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, golden looking pour. Whitehead. Hophead, a session pale ale at 3.6%. And I've got to say, for a 3.6%, it kicks above what it should be. Yeah, you probably would, wouldn't you? Yeah, fair play there. I really enjoyed this from Brewsters Brewery. And it's nice to have different styles. You cannot live on drinking the same style of beer because you need different styles to appreciate the styles that may be your favourite. Good evening, Benjamin. So by drinking different styles of beers, you're educating yourself on them styles. Trust me, drinking every style of beer, even saisons, even though I don't really like saisons, you know, it's worth drinking, worth trying rather, every style of beer. This to me, a session pale ale, was really nice. I actually really enjoyed it. For me, a good 4.1 out of 5. And you and me both, mate. Yeah. Wet through. Yeah, you can still get barley wine. Yeah. You can get a lot of different types of barley wine these days. Imperial barley wines. Yeah, you certainly can. A good 4.1 out of 5. And yes, I would drink it again. And sadly, that's the end of this review. I've got to go up the house. God, nearly dropped the glass then. Yeah, sacrilege. And go up the house and warm up because it's not warm in this shed. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Cheers, everyone. See you soon.